bacteria. When you're a little child crawling on the ground, putting stuff in your mouth, viruses and bacteria come in, you form an antigen antibody complex, you form IgG, IgM. This is how your immune system is built. You don't take a small child, put them in bubble wrap in a room and say, go have a healthy immune system. This is immunology, microbiology 101. This is not something, this is the basis of what we've known for years. Okay. So what I'm seeing is when you take human beings and you say, go into your house.
All right, yeah, go on. What do you think about that? And he'll go on and he'll say, I'll give you a second here. He'll go on to say that when you stay in, you can't build that immunity. And he goes, well, as soon as everybody's able to go out, we're going to see a jump in hospitals being overwhelmed. And the guy that I watched this video was saying, this guy's probably got a practice right now, the urgent care. There's not enough people going in because people are afraid of going to the hospital. If they got a cough, they're like dealing with it, but it's only people that are like really, really sick that are going, he says. And he's like, well, maybe there's just not enough people going out, or maybe he's sick of it, and this is a way for this guy to make some money. He's like, hey, go out there and be unsafe, everybody. It's all right. And people go out there, and he's like, yeah, we can rake in that money again, doctors. That's right. But yeah, he'll go on to say that, once you go out, there's going to be a huge jump in people that are getting sick. Right.
Yeah. And that's what I was talking about. Like, it's true. Right. Like, and that's one thing, even me and my wife had this conversation all the time, because, growing up in the Valley, it doesn't matter, who's around or whatever. Like if food falls on the floor, or even if someone throws something away that they're not done with in the trash, like, we would get it and eat it as kids, right? If it was a burger or whatever it was candy. And so even now as an adult, sometimes my wife will like do something and like, she'll throw like half a donut away in the trash, on the top, kind of like George Costanza style. And like, I'll get it and eat it. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's so good. She's like, ew, that was in trash. And I would say, oh, okay, well that's going to build my immune system up. And that's what I tell her all the time. Like, I don't mind exposing myself and, putting myself in the elements, because I'm building up my immune system. And that's even something I said in the very beginning when all this was happening. I was like, so you're telling everybody to stay inside, build down their immune systems. And then when everybody goes out, it's going to spike up and they're going to say, oh, look, there's a rise on COVID again. Everybody stay in. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's not smart. And then even tests are showing that exposure to the sun and being outside and being, running and being healthy and all this stuff. So how do you expect us to fight it when you're telling us to do the complete opposite and stay home and do nothing?
We could like use a needle or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it in a little bit, I'm sure. But what are your thoughts? If you're watching this, there was a lot of people that they're not cool with any sort of dissent against the coronavirus, saying that this thing's the flu somehow. We got a caller. We got a caller. I hope it's Rob. All right, you're on, caller. Caller, you're on. Caller.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. I guess they can't hear us.
Well, he'll call back.
Yeah. Anyway.
I can't remember right now. What was he? He was trying to make a point with staying inside.
Right. If we all stay inside, we can't build that immunity, and then the second we all go out there, we get sick.
And one thing I was going to say was, and it's kind of something that you brought up, is that people on both ends always think there's an agenda, right? People who are saying, like people on the right are saying, oh, this is against Trump. That's why they're trying to do all this stuff. Like, screw them, go outside because this is BS. And then there's people, on the left who are, oh, they just want people to go out because they want money. So there's like a conspiracy theory on both ends of the spectrum,
Caller, you're on the air.
Hello. This is Mercy. This is Rob.
Hey, what's up, Rob? Good to hear from you again. How are you?
Well, I'm not too good.
Why is that?
Well, Jimmy's gone, man.
Yeah, well, Jimmy's gone for his own reasons. We wished him well, and we still wish him well. I guess watch and listen to his new podcast, Jimmy's Bizarre. Little plug for him. but it's still us.
I
And
know, but now it's like watching Fox News, man.
what's that?
I told y'all, like, the first time I ever called you, there's no such thing as building bridges. And I agree with you about the fact that you can't have comedy at a time like this. We have a retarded man as president. And they're trying to open. You're going to watch. There's going to be a lot of people dying. A whole lot more people dying. You know, we need to keep this place shut down for another month or two, maybe. And I'm real concerned about it. But I feel like y'all are giving out some false info tonight.
Well, why is that? What info have we given out that you think is false? We'll give you the floor.
A lot.
Well, anything in particular?
It's just like the only truth we ever got when your show was worth watching was when Jimmy was on.
Is that right? Well, I mean, that is
that hard, man.
It sounds like there's a bias going on here.
Well, yes, he's a life.
Of course, that's what
You know, he's
a lot of people say.
he's a Biden supporter.
That's reality.
Hey,
Reality is too
Rob.
much for y'all.
Yeah, it may be too much for me, but hey, Rob, how do you feel about these allegations with Joe Biden going on right now? Are you concerned?
What about Joe Biden right now?
Joe Biden and Tara Reid, not the actress from Big Lebowski, but Tara Reid worked for
American Pie.
Yeah, or American Pie worked for Joe Biden. And are you unfamiliar with the allegations that are floating around?
Yeah, because it's probably only on Fox News, fake news, fall news, FAUX.
It's not.
I haven't seen that on anything. And
I wonder why they wouldn't put it on anything else. What a coincidence! They're not putting it on anything else.
Pretty weird that you haven't seen it. You know, it's as if that they're trying to hide it from you. Because this is
it okay that your president wants to grab pussies?
No,
and is trying to rape women. Why don't you talk about the real
it's different when he says it and then Biden does it. Yeah, Trump could say it, but Biden actually does it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it about Biden. Sorry, don't believe it.
So you don't. What about all the videos of him kissing all those little kids and kissing all those ladies in the neck and grabbing little girls in the chest?
Hold up a second. Aren't you supposed to believe?
All that, and it's obvious that Joe Biden is not a molester. It's very obvious.
Interesting. And you haven't seen the videos of him just like kissing women and them pulling away and the just general.
I've seen all of it. But he ain't grabbing their pussy, and he ain't raping women. You got how many? 16, 17 women now claiming
Rob,
pushing them up against hotel rooms and trying to.
Rob, you should. Rob, you should go. You should go to joebiden.info. Check out joebiden.info, and there's a lot of stuff on there that is.
Biden's website. That's a right wing Nazi. I'm sure that's a right wing Nazi white supremacist website.
Hey,
there's a lot of evidence on there for Joe Biden groping children and women on there.
Hey, Rob.
A lot of photos.
Hey, Rob. No,
you're concerned about that, but there's nothing about Donald Trump that concerns you.
Hey, no, yeah, there's plenty that concerns me.
There's a lot that concerns me about Trump.
Yeah, there's a lot that concern me. I hate the way he talks.
Yeah, he's a Nazi.
In general.
Let's start with he's a Nazi.
No, he's not a. There's no.
Nazi.
I don't even think the Nazis would qualify him as a Nazi.
And how many times do we need to play that video?
If you're a Nazi, buddy, then you're a Nazi.
Even if I'm so you're saying a full-blooded Mexican is a Nazi? Are you telling me a full-blooded Mexican is a Nazi? Is that what you're telling me right now? That me, a full-blooded Mexican, is a Nazi?
You know what? I've seen some. I always thought.
Sir, what if I said you sound more like a Nazi than I do?
You don't know about. I'm a original hippie in the '60s, in the late '60s.
You sound like you're from the Confederates, sir. You sound like a Confederate Army type of person.
Not serve me. I had cowboys trying to beat me up every day. The police searched me 6 times a day. Don't tell me I don't know about racism. And it was against hippies. And it was horrible.
You were born against hippies?
Time of my fucking life.
You the hippie life. You were born.
Treated badly.
I've never heard racism against hippies.
I don't like the way he's treating the people trying to come into the country, but I know you are against that because you're Fox News watchers.
Well, I'm already in the country, so
I
I'm
have
good.
never had a problem with Hispanics. My first girlfriend was a Hispanic. Her dad owned Rudy's Tacos here in town.
Is that your token support for the Hispanic community? That you banged a Mexican girl?
I think it's offensive to Nazis that you call Hispanic a Nazi. That's like offensive to them.
For real.
I didn't call it. I said Trump is a fucking Nazi.
No, you said me because I'm a Trump supporter that I'm a Nazi.
There were good people on both sides.
You said that I'm a Trump supporter, therefore I'm a Nazi.
He keeps bringing that up.
If you support Trump, yeah, I'm sorry, dude. You got Nazism in you.
Hey, Brandon, are you able to play this guy the video that I saved for last week? It's of Trump at that thing where he says there's good people on both sides, and he goes, "No, I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis." He clearly says that, but you ignore that. I don't understand why you keep bringing that up as.
I saw the original speech in Charlottesville. I saw what he said. I heard what he said.
You didn't because you
good people on both sides, and he was talking about nothing.
So what about Joe Biden?
He wasn't.
What about Joe Biden, who actually worked with KKK members? So what about that? Joe Biden, who actually worked with people who are white supremacists?
It's impossible to talk to you Fox News watchers. I'm sorry, but anyway,
bro,
if you get back, maybe I'll watch the show again.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what, Rob. How did you? Oh, yeah, good. See, that's the problem. I don't watch Fox News. Like, how does he? I don't even have cable in this place, dude.
Same.
He's someone that will claim that he's a hippie, but I don't know. I understand hippies are supposed to be for like small government and like leave me alone, bro. But the Democrat Party, which he supports and loves, is full of restrictions on people. You can't have personal freedom, and it's always give and give and give. You know, I wanted to bring up towards the end of the show, but like I'm bringing this up because there's people that I know that are getting paid more under unemployment and that extra $600 that Auntie Pelosi put on all of that, thanks, and they're making more a week, and there are people that are asked back to work, and they're saying, "Well, no, we're scared," or I mean, maybe they're saying they're scared, knowing that they're making more money to stay at home, and that is a straight abuse of. And maybe they're saying that they are really, scared, but are they really scared? I wanted to open that up and talk about that for a quick moment, but first. We wanted to finish up this last thing. Are you on that last page that we were talking about? Because those doctors were getting hammered by people. They're saying, "Oh, they used bad math," which is fine. They probably used bad math, but the idea of what they're talking about, the immunity, is not such a far-fetched thing, and they're actually doctors that deal with it. So, whose doctor do you pick? Everyone's like, "Fauci's the man. Fauci's the man." If I'm not mistaken, I have a New York Post here, and I know people are going to be like, "New York Post, right wing, whatever." But listen, the guy endorsed Tinder and Grinders. Like, hey, go ahead and use it. Why not? Meanwhile, when they say go out there and get some herd immunity, like you're going out there to try to fuck, and you're exchanging all that. Who knows who's got COVID? Who knows? There it is. Fauci endorses Tinder. You got that thing up? Fauci endorsed Tinder, and meanwhile they're like, "Oh yeah, Fauci's the man and everything," and this goes fine. But two guys that dispersed a bunch of tests and have some numbers to compare with CDC, and then they come up with this is their conclusion. Everyone's got to be like naysaying because it doesn't fit the narrative that they want. They want this to be the all and be all. This is it. Trump is going to this is going to make Trump look so fucking bad, and it's turning into political. I mean, people are straight up political about this, and it shouldn't be that way. When these antibody tests come out and we see some more results in them en masse, we're going to see that a ton of people have it already. And I was saying this from a few episodes back that if you were sick in February or January, you may have already had it, and it's like you've built up the antibodies, And so when we see more people that are positive for the antibodies, that death rate should go up. The cases will also go up. if I'm not mistaken. But then it's also going to show that those numbers of recovered are going to go way up too, and it's going to change the whole thing, the whole aspect, and it's going to be treated like the flu eventually, where you're going to have to get a yearly shot. And how many people are going to go out there and get one? Brendan, did you get a shot last week?
For what?
Not last week, last year for a flu shot?
Oh, for the flu? I did not.
Yeah, see, I mean, influenza kills like 80,000 a year or something, or at least it killed 80,000 in like 2018 or 17. I can't remember. Where'd David go? Did he bail out? Did he fall out?
Well, yeah, something happened. I think just keep going.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
Where was I? I was saying, what? It doesn't matter, right? Nobody remembers what I'm saying. They don't even. But if you guys want to give us a call, Rob was a caller that called when we had Jimmy on. He would yell at me for rationalizing out a thought and not believing things the way he wants them to be believed, which is the same way Rob thinks. It's like, there's no way we're ever going to build a bridge. And that's, how is that good thinking? Because that's all I wanted to do is build this bridge. Like, hey, listen, man, I'm not an evil person. I have thoughts and rationale. I don't think that the orange man is all that bad. I mean, the things he says is stupid. They're dumb. But does policy-wise, he's done a lot of great things policy-wise. I'm for basically a lot of Republican Party stands for, and I'm for their government, personal liberties. And, these are things that we should all be for. And I can't remember, but I was telling people I'm libertarian, and they were like, I was thinking to myself, what the hell is the difference between liberal and libertarian? Like, libertarian were the liberals, but now somehow the liberal thing got taken, and shouldn't the liberals and the libertarians be the exact same thing? I mean, it's libertarian liberals, and they just want you to be free and liberal. That's what libertarian is. You do you. Don't affect me. Anyways, did we have what happened to David? Is he back? Holy Hispanic?
Yeah. I have no idea what happened. Everything just froze on my end.
That's okay.
And then it just came back on.
Well, I was just going off nothing on Rob, actually, just about how he doesn't want this dynamic. He doesn't want there to be a bridge. He says there is no bridge to build between people,
Yeah, and even that, again, I don't support Nazis and I don't support Hitler, but at the same time, I do believe in free speech, and I believe that people have the freedom to say what they want. So if somebody wants to call me a wetbag or a dirty spick, they have the right to do so, but I also have the right to beat them up.
Yeah, did you say you don't have the right to beat them up, but did you say wet bag?
Wet back. So that's what right? Because when they see you running across the border, all they see is a wet back.
Just listening. It's not, but that's cool. And I wanted to see if Rob was still on the line. He's not on the line, but he's a big Biden supporter, and I wanted to know how he felt about Judge Kavanaugh, and if that's the same kind of rules we're going to apply. They should be, and I believe Biden deserves due process. Just like I believed Judge Kavanaugh deserves due process. And so there's an actual difference between these two things. But I want to go to this first link that I have here. And Brandon, can you get that ready? This one right here. And so like I said, he deserves due process. But then again, we got to look at how Kavanaugh was accused, and this is how people were saying, I believe her. And these were all the big names that we just a year ago. Go ahead. Starting with Pocahontas.
She was credible. I believe her. Her story is credible. It comes down to credibility, to your point, Gail, and it's going to be about what each party has to say, but I believe her.
I was proud of Dr. Blasey Ford's response and her demeanor, but more importantly, her courage in stepping forward.
We must first and foremost protect and support the alleged victim as they come forward. This is a very difficult thing that she is doing, and I applaud her for her courage.
Anybody who comes forward at this point, that takes an extraordinary amount of courage.
There is no doubt in my mind, Harris, that Dr. Ford was a credible witness. honesty, her integrity, her truth. It's obvious.
A credible woman coming from her. Dr. Ford coming forward and courageous enough to come forward without any benefit to her.
She has nothing to gain. So
What does she have to gain?
The victims are blamed often and they're not believed, and that's why they're reluctant to come forward.
So that's, that is that story covered.
All right, so that's my boy Andrew Clavin.
Yeah, dude.
Supercut there. You back in Monday?
Yeah.
We just watched that supercut of all the female candidates. There was Lillebrand, there was Pocahontas, and there was Kamala.
I was gonna say Blackahontas.
Blackahontas. Oh, that's just not cool. That's not cool at all. I disavow. I believe her. And matter of fact, I think now that Kamala is up for VP, Biden was like, I think I'm going to get a woman, but particularly a girl of color, because I like the way their hair smiles.
And she may rub on my leg up and down in the pool. You never know.
You never know. We still don't have your video. Check your settings there.
Ooh, really?
And so I want to go to this next one here. This is a flashback, and let's see how the media. And so this is funny how there's someone that's out there. Her name is out there. Now she's officially saying I was sexually abused by Joe Biden, and this is the time where all the ladies that were knocking on the justice doors and saying, stop, no Kavanaugh. These are where they got to be the same way with her. I believe her. I got to believe her. But this is the way, matter of fact, and Rob was saying, I haven't even heard about it. They haven't been saying it on CNN. Gee, I wonder why. Well, this is how the media reported when it was Justice Kavanaugh. If you can play that there, Mr. Guy. Nope, he's not even ready yet.
There's not a cut video there.
Check. You got to go down a little more. There it is. And David's out again, I think. Oh.
He hasn't come back.
And this doctor is going to come on, his PhD is going to come on and in detail describe what happened. I don't think it's a fair fight. I think she's going to make the case.
He's the type of person who could be so vile. And he lies about that. And he lies about whether or not he got the document. And he's lied about what he's done to these other women. And he's a liar.
Really big red flags to me, and this is just the latest one.
I don't think Brett Kavanaugh takes women's pain very seriously. Kavanaugh simply refers to it as the accuser.
Kavanaugh has lied multiple times.
Kavanaugh's potentially lying, and that to me is disqualifying. This is not a court of law, right? So this doesn't need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
Credibly accused. Credibly
and authoritatively accused. Credibly accused of sexual assault involving teens.
Thank you, Brett.
What are you going to believe?
She's being...
There you go. I mean, again, we're seeing that. Are you on with us there, Holy Hispanic? He's still out. Okay. So Alyssa Milano tweets why she's been silent on Joe Biden's accusations. You're not going to believe her reasoning. And this is comes from Political. And that last one we saw, that video comes from Media Research Center. It's a really good site that just pulls a bunch of news from left-wing shows and shows that this is, if you're not able to watch it, if you're one of them Fox News watchers that watches our show, this is a great site to go in so you can watch the good stuff of CNN and MSNBC. So let's read from this Politico here. In 2017, actress Alyssa Milano became one of the early advocates for the pound Me Too movement. Hashtag Me Too movement, when she tweeted, if you've been sexually harassed or assaulted, write Me Too as a reply to this tweet. And there you go. Caller? Man.
Caller, you're on the air.
Yo.
Caller. All right, whatever. Call back.
All right. Are you seeing who's calling? What their name is on their phone?
No, he said something, but people get scared.
Oh, you calling out a scaredy cat there?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Bring him on. Caller, you're on the air.
Caller.
San Luis Obispo, you're on the air. Austin, Texas, you're on the air. Hello, you're on the air. Hello. We are not having good luck with our phones today.
No, the phones are working just fine.
Okay, so it's just the people not able to hear it. What can you do, man? Let me just keep reading from this, and I wanted to read her tweet here because when asked about Joe Biden, she took to Twitter again this time to explain her self-described silence over sexual assault allegations against presumptive Democrat presidential nominee Joe Biden. You're on the air. Caller.
Okay. Yeah. No. Hey, hang on. I got to transfer you over. So hang on. All right.
Okay.
Caller coming over.
All right, caller. You're on the air.
Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah. This whole technology thing is something.
No, you just have to talk on the phone.
Hey,
it is something else to keep up with.
What's going on, caller?
There you are. I can hear you now, I think.
Hey, well, okay, what's going on? What do you want to talk about?
There you are. Oh, gosh. Yeah, the Bidens. Well, how are you? It's Neil. Hello.
Hi.
Am I on?
I don't know if you hearing me or not.
I can hear you. Go ahead and speak your piece. You're on the air.
Excellent. Yes, excellent. Yes. I wanted to chime in on the whole Kavanaugh versus Biden thing, which is literally a perfect storm of hypocrisy.
You got that right.
And I don't know, I suppose you wouldn't get Rob or 100 other people to agree. I don't know. It's hard to figure, that you could prove, you can demonstrate so well how one person is mistreated or whatever, how Kavanaugh was treated and now how Biden's treated. It's just a perfect comparison. But there's still plenty of people that will have no idea what you're talking about. They won't even recognize that.
Yeah, agreed. As Rob was a good example, how he either he was lying or he's right. They're just not showing it on the mainstream media, as some would say, and it's a shame because they did this. They smeared this poor guy that had literally no evidence of a woman who claimed to have gone to a party and all of her friends, and none of the friends could corroborate it. And at this example of Joe Biden, there's even a little bit of audio from an old Larry King episode. I'll take this for what it is, but there's somebody saying this. She's told her friends about it. They can back it up. There's already more evidence for Tara Reid against Joe Biden than there ever was for Brett Kavanaugh. But where's the outrage?
Right. I think what the right wing has to do, what the Republicans have to do, is just beat the drum on this continuously. 90%, either, Republicans obviously see it, but they're already Trump supporters, or people like Rob will never see it, but you're going to maybe catch an independent occasionally. So you just need to beat the drum continuously for the chance that some independent, somebody that's on the fence is going to say, oh, wait a minute, the Democrats are a bunch of, are full of shit on this. And so I don't know, it's a 1 in 100, literally a 1 in 100 person that you might flip occasionally.
Yeah, and you can't just change somebody's thought process with one conversation. You can plant seeds and hope that they can see it later. What were you going to say?
Yeah, and I was just going to add, even with all this going on, and that's kind of how you and I first met, because it was around the Kavanaugh thing. And that was one thing that really opened my eyes was because as a roaster, I had nothing else to do but listen to the hearing all day. And so when I was seeing the hearing and what was actually going on, and then when I was comparing CNN, MSNBC, Fox, and all these other ones, and I was seeing the bias, that's when I started seeing more of this. It's like, wow, the media are liars. But the other thing that sucks is that, and I would there's a lot of stuff that I share, but the hard thing about sharing is that the way the media makes Trump supporters look is like we're crazy. So it feels like when you share something, you're almost putting your reputation out as you may be a crazy person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And they just don't get that somebody would be a conservative in 2020, you know, and
especially when you're a person of color or someone who is like bi-ethnic and stuff like that, you know.
They always bust this like, man, you're like really smart. Like, why would you vote for Trump? I mean, you seem like a really smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can you not understand people have different thoughts and views than you, and it doesn't make them a bad person? And then when you don't reveal like your political bias. You just got to keep that to yourself and then wait for them to say something. And it's funny how they're always going to be, if they're left, of course, if it's someone on the right, they're probably going to wait till the very end of the world before they say anything. But anyone that's a little bit leftist will show their bias to you. If you just kick back and don't show them anything, they'll say something like, something communist or like socialist, or if we had universal this or healthcare that, you know, they'll put that in there and you'll know, okay, ooh, good. I didn't say anything early on because I like this job and I don't want to lose it. But they're okay with saying whatever they want, you know, in this world. And I'm sure they feel that way if they're liberal or leftists living in.
Yeah, you can say, oh, you know, leftists can say, oh, we need more trannies in the business place, but we can't say, oh, we need more straight white males in the business place. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could say one and you'll be elevated, right? Look at Elizabeth Warren. Oh, I'm going to have a transgender kid choose my VP or something like that. It's like, what? Like,
Neil,
come on.
Neil, you're still in there, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell when you go. Yes.
It's like a game, a big dishonest game. It's like you're playing poker with a straight face. You know what I mean? Even though you've got aces, you're going to pretend you've got nothing, or the opposite. You know, it's a big game, and it is kind of disheartening, the whole thing.
It's really disheartening, man. And this whole injecting disinfectant thing that I just go on there and they think that you're defending him, like, because he really said inject disinfectant, and like it goes unbelievably out of control. And well, people are still bringing up, oh, well, he touted that hydroxychloroquine and somebody fucking drank it and died. And I was trying to tell people, dude, that was a Carol Baskin situation. You don't even try to say that had anything to do with Trump supporter, because they weren't Trump supporters. And so that whole thing has to break down, but now it's injecting disinfectant. Neil, I saw you had posted something up. Do you have any thoughts on this injecting disinfectant?
Oh, you're asking me? Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, the surprise, the crazy thing is they would do this, you know, I mean, on a regular day, I suppose that is fairly normal. Let's face it, they're doing this during a pandemic, all right? That's the weird thing. It's like we're at a world war, or however you want to look at it. Just many people lost to Vietnam. And at the same time, you're lying to people and trying to, you know, take power at the same time that a war is going on or a pandemic's going on. And it pretty much tells you what, you know, like I say, it doesn't make you happy about people in general, because look how they're acting.
We'll never let a good crisis go to waste, man. Never really let that. And let's be. I just want to be clear. Let me just make this clear. I don't think injecting yourself with bleach or Lysol is smart. It's dumb. But what he said, it was just off the cuff, man. And he just got off the stage, or he got on the stage after, what's his name? I got it right here. His name was William Bryan. And he's the acting Undersecretary for Science and Technology at the Department of Homeland Security, after giving a presentation on the potential impact of summer heat and humidity, which also included references to tests that showed the effectiveness of different types of disinfectants. He recounted data from recent tests that showed how bleach, alcohol, and sunlight can kill coronavirus on surfaces. And then Trump goes up there, and granted, you know, this is not a place to be brainstorming, but he's all like, hey, you know, it sounds like you might be able to take, you know, sunlight kills things. So, like, wouldn't it be cool if we were able to, you know, put it into the body somehow? Like, I mean, it's the wrong place to be saying that kind of stuff, but is he really saying inject yourself with bleach or sunlight? And he's looking over at this guy and he's like, yeah, you know, we'll test that. And he's not exactly like telling people, he's like, hey, do you guys think you guys are doing this? Is this something you can test? And he looks over to him, and the guy's all like, yeah, it's something we can look at, like, why not? Maybe just humoring it.
Well, that there's a study, right, of like injecting UV ray to heal like some stuff. Like there like some because I was hearing Tim Pool talk about that also, and he had put out a thing where he was talking shit to Trump about it, and then a bunch of Trump supporters started sending him all these articles about like UV studies in the body, and he even had to recant a lot of his shit because he was like, you know what, I was wrong. Like after I put that video out, all you guys came to me with these articles and these facts that there really is study of UV going into the skin, into the body to kill like viruses and stuff like that.
But of course, if it's Trump, it's bad. So hey, Neil,
exactly.
Thanks for calling, man.
Yes.
Have a wonderful day. Thanks for calling, man. You are truly a gem.
Neil, you're the best.
So yeah, that's he's one of the good ones there. That isn't immediate.
I can already tell.
Judging, and it's great that we can just talk to him, right? He's not. He's not calling us names, saying we're evil. It's nice to have that. So let's talk about that some more here. Let's watch Trump's speech. Now, can you pull up this link that I just highlighted? We're going to skip over some stuff here. Now, of course, if you go fact check, did Trump actually say injecting yourself with disinfectants? And it's like, yep, dude, he totally said it on Snopes. Let's watch it. Once we get through the ads, of course, because we didn't get YouTube Red, and who needs to pay for that?
They should make it free right now.
Yeah, well, what's a 15-second, 15-second ad? All right, here we go. Let's watch this.
So, supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light. And I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets in the lungs and it does a tremendous number in the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. A lot of people have been talking about.
Sounds interesting to me. He's just. Does that sound? Tell me, like, does that sound like he's suggesting, or nope. Is he pondering? Is he touting, or is he simply asking an expert? Is he claiming, or is he imagining? Is he?
Well, when I was gonna say when I first saw this, and I saw it out of context also because it was a CNN thing that I was watching, and when I was hearing it, it sounded like he was trying to reiterate something. Like when I was hearing him talk, it sounded like if I just heard something and I'm like, oh, so what you're trying to say was this, and you're like, it sounded like he was just trying to reiterate something. So even when I watched the full clip, I was like, oh, that's why he's even like his inflections sound different. You know what I mean?
Somebody, and I just assumed he had just watched the speech of somebody that was talking about effectiveness of different types of disinfectants, and he's all like, so you guys are doing this. I suppose there'd be some way you could put it in the body, like through injection or something. He's all looking at him, and the guy's like confirming. He's like, yeah, we'll give that a shot, and he's all like, okay, like that sounds pretty interesting to me. He's not like making any plans for it. He's not. Touting this. He's kind of inquiring, he's consulting a doctor, if you will, and we didn't even get to see the speech of William Bryan, the guy he's looking over to. Like, what was his speech all about? I mean, like I said, it's about different types of disinfectants, recovered from data and recent tests that showed how bleach, alcohol, and something like it kill the coronavirus in like 1 minute, right? We see that it kills it in 1 minute. It's great. So one thing that you started hearing, and this is from Tim Pool, he was saying poison control incident numbers are up because people are ingesting bleach because Trump touted it. Trump touts that you can take these disinfectants, and we already talked about the chloroquine, where somebody, took that, and there is so much. I don't say evidence, but there's something there where her husband was this engineer that all of his friends were like, well, this is very odd that they did this. He trusted her completely, and somehow she slipped this in there and took a little bit of herself. It's like a classic murder drama, this woman calls and says, oh, my husband's dead and we did this, and look, the way that they don't look at the spouse is because the spouse also drank some of it. It's funny how she didn't drink the same amount that he gave her, which is like
and I was gonna say, yeah, and I also heard about that too, and it was just like, man, that's so smart. If you wanted to kill your husband, of course you would do it that way, because all the focus would be on Trump. But again, and then then we get called out for being conspiracy theorists because we'll bring that up. But it's like,
yeah, it's conspiracy. It's like, how about Carol Baskin? Fucking Carol Baskin.
Fucking Carol Baskin.
Like, if I'm going to feed them to the cat, so you got to put some sort of sardine oil on them. Like, how would I get that kind of stuff? Like, if I'm going to kill my husband, I'm give him fucking fish tank cleaner. Why would I do that? Like,
doesn't make sense.
It's not me. I mean.
Well, then the fact that they're not even Trump supporters, that there are Democrats. Like, why, if you are a Democrat and you do not like Trump, why would you take his advice?
Yeah, exactly. Why? That when they
but then are you hearing about that person who's a Democrat who had corona and then did ingest and she got better and praised Trump for it, and now they want to kick her out of the Democratic Party?
No, but that sounds super fucking funny.
Yeah, and Trump talked about it in a press conference. He was saying, this woman, he says her name, I can't remember right now, but he was like, yeah, she had it and she did the chloroquine. She's feeling better and she praised Trump, and now they want to excommunicate her because she was saying that it worked.
It's so funny when he starts, then I'm going to say their word, touting hydroxychloroquine, and somebody uses it and dies. And he goes, well, people have used it, and they go, no, well, that's an anecdotal study. And then there's one study that just recently came out about how chloroquine was killing people, right? And then everybody that was like, fuck chloroquine, this is anecdotal evidence, they use that fucking thing and go, well, look, this study showed this. It's like this one little anecdotal study too. It's like, come the hell on how they don't use the same rules for themselves.
Yeah, and what did you hear about Chris Cuomo and all the bullshit he's been doing? That apparently he said he had corona and he really didn't, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I don't know if he actually really didn't, but yeah, he said that he did, and that he was stuck to his basement. He said he wasn't.
Yeah, that.
And so he goes on, he has got his own podcast, and he talks about how he hates his job and he'll never be as good as or as popular as Hannity or, Maddow or something. And how he goes, he doesn't believe in what he does anymore. He thinks it's so stupid now that I'm dying and shit. And then he goes on and talks about a couple days later how this guy gets in his face when he's out there riding his bike, and it gets in his face for being out because everyone knows he's quarantined, and you see him out there and you're like, whoa. You ain't supposed to be out there. And then CNN go do this thing where he's now better, and we're going to do this reveal of him coming out of his basement for the very first time. And we already know that he's been out there because he complained about this guy that gave him shit while he was on his bike outside. Come the fuck on, dude. Why would they see that? And it's I constantly see barrage after barrage of just haters. And I try not to post anything crazy, but I posted that thing where Trump was saying maybe just what we just saw there, and it's in context, and then it goes, Democrats see it, and it's a guy chugging bleach up his butthole. It just stirs this whole thing of people leaving long comments, and it's my fault for answering back, and everyone's so
we got Rob back on the line.
Oh God,
let me get him.
Right. I love you, Rob. I love you no matter what.
Rob, go ahead.
Hey, I've always thought you're a good person. I still think you're spoofing or something. But what I want to say is on several occasions, you've said that I'm a supposed hippie and about how we're supposed to be all about this and that. We were against Nixon. We got rid of the draft. We got rid of the Vietnam War. What hippies are for is for good people. And Republicans are not good people. The only people that give a damn about this country right now, and we have to work within the system of what we got. because the kids today won't go out and try to change shit because they don't care except about rave ups and whatever that hip hop and all that stuff they listen to. But I also get very angry about y'all not understanding the fact of how hippies were treated in the late 60s and 70s. You guys are Hispanic. You've never been treated the way I was treated. You've never been in a restaurant and not got served water or a menu back in the like 68 through 76.
You're right.
You never had buses that wouldn't stop for you. You haven't had truckloads of cowboys in the middle of the daylight jump out of a truck and try to catch you so they could kill you. And they got a few of my friends and fucked them up bad.
Well, man,
and I could go on and on. Got searched by cops 6 times a day.
Gotta go.
You guys ain't been through that. You guys ain't been through that.
Dude, I don't, you know.
So don't tell me. If anybody knows anything about discrimination, it's me.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. If anyone knows about discrimination, it's Rob.
Hey, Rob, can I ask you one question?
Go ahead.
So what does that brother? So everything you just told me, you know, what does that tell you about humanity?
Look, I know that what's bad in this world. You want me to tell you? It's white people. It's not black. It's not Hispanic.
Are you white, Rob?
Yes.
Rob, are you white?
I'm a white person.
So then you're the problem? Is that what you're telling me right now? Or are you telling me that you're the problem?
Yes,
I have a problem with white people because I think white people are the problem with this world. And I'm half Irish, half Swedish. You ain't going to get more white than that.
All right, hey, we got to hang up on you. Hey, Rob, thanks for calling, man. Yeah, we're out of here in like 20 seconds, but hey, thanks for calling again. Give us another chance. Let's try to build a bridge. I know that you think that's not going to happen, but I think it's very possible. Yeah, I know you don't think that can happen.
But I love both you guys. I mean, don't get me wrong.
All right. Yeah, no, hey,